You didn't have no money or ideas, pictures in your head for magazines about how things should be, plates, detergents, how them crazy women smile in advertisements. It's all around you, but you don't pick it up unless you got some time and money. And neither of us had ever been a citizen in that sense. We were revolutionaries, not consumers. Not little boy girl dolls all polished and smiling with little tea sets playing house. We were us, unto ourselves. We found a small place without any floor at all. You had to walk on the beams, and he built the floor so the landlord let us stay there. We planned the political acts there, the chaos we delivered to the status quo, the acts of disruption, rebellion. We hid out there, kept low, kept out of sight. You turn where you are into a friendly darkness that hides you. We embraced there, a carnal embrace. After an action or during the long weeks of planning or in the interstices where we drenched ourselves in hashish and opium until a paralysis overtook us and the smoke stopped all the time. I liked that, how everything slowed down, and I liked fucking after a strike, a proper climax to the real act. I liked how everything got fast and urgent, fast, hard, life or death. I liked bed then, after, when we was drenched in perspiration from what came before. I liked revolution as foreplay. I liked how it made you super sensitive so the hairs on your skin were standing up and hurt before you touched them. Could feel a breeze a mile away. It hurt. There was this reddish pain, a soreness parallel to your skin before anything touched you. I liked how you was tired before you began. A fatigue that came because the danger was over. A strained, taut fatigue, an ache from discipline and attentiveness, and from the imposition of a superhuman quietness on the body. I liked it. I liked it when the embrace was quiet like the strike itself, a subterranean quiet, a disciplined, with exposed nerve endings that hurt, but you don't say nothing. Then you sleep, then you fuck more, hearty, rowdy, long, slow, deliberate, using every muscle in me so I could feel him hurting. You know, that melancholy ache inside that deepens into a frisson of pain. And I could tease every bone in his body until it was ready to break open, split, and the marrow'd spread like semen. I could split him open inside, and he never had enough. I had an appetite for him. Anything. I'd do anything. Hours or days. In my mind, I wasn't there for him so much as I was the same as him. I could feel every muscle in his body as if it were mine, and I'd taunt each muscle. I'd make it bend and ache and stretch and tear. I'd pull it slow. I'd make it move toward me so much it would have come through his skin. I didn't have no shyness around him, and I didn't have to act ignorant or stupid because he wasn't that kind of man who wanted you to overlay everything with words of a fool like you don't know nothing. Some was perverse, according to how these things are seen, but that's a concept, not a fact. It's a concept over people's eyes so much you wish they would go blind to get rid of the concept once and for all. It's how the law makes you see things, but we were different. We were inside each other. A fact. Wasn't perverse. Couldn't be. We turned each other inside out, and it binds you, and there wasn't nothing he did to me that I didn't do to him. And we'd talk and cook and roam around and drink and smoke, and we'd visit his friends, which wasn't always so good, because to them I was this something. I didn't understand it, but I hated it. I was this something that came into a room and changed everything. There were these guys, mostly fighters, anarchists, some intellectuals, and when I came into the room everything was different. I was his blood, but that's how we acted, not giggly or amorous. But I think I was just this monstrous thing, this girlfriend or wife, that is completely different from them and cannot talk without making them mad or crazy, that cannot do anything but just must sit quiet, that does not have any reason to be in the room at all, not this room where they are, only some other room somewhere else to be fucked, sort of like kept like a pet animal. And the man goes there when he's done with the real stuff, the real talk, the real politics, the real work, the real getting high, even the real fucking. They go somewhere together, and they get women together to do the real fucking. They hunt down women together, or buy women together, or pick up women together to do the real fucking. And then in some one room somewhere hidden away is the wife or girlfriend, and she's this sort of vacuum, sealed away, vacuum packed. And when she comes out to be somewhere or say something, there's an embarrassment, and they avert their eyes. The man failed because she's outside. She got out, like his peas showing on his pants. We'd go to these meetings late at night. These guys would be there. They were famous revolutionaries, famous to their time and place, criminals according to the law. Brilliant, shrewd, tough guys, detached with formal politeness to me. One was a junkie, a flamboyant junkie with long, silken, rolling brown curls, great pools of sadness in his moist eyes, small and elegant. A beauty. Soft-spoken, always nodding out or so sick and wretched that he'd be throwing up a few times a night and they'd expect me to clean it up. And I wouldn't. I'd just sit there waiting for the next thing we were all going to discuss, and someone would eventually look me in the eye, a rare event, and say meaningfully, he just threw up. And time would pass and I'd wait, and eventually someone would start talking about something. I didn't get how the junkie was more real than me, or how his vomit was mine, you know. When the junkie'd come to where we lived, he would vomit, sort of challenge me to leave it there, as he had fouled my very own nest. And he'd ask for a cup of tea, and I'd clean it up, but I wouldn't get him the tea, and I tried to convey to my husband that my hospitality was being abused. Our hospitality, of course. That I wasn't being treated fair. Not that some rule was being broke, but that the boy was being rude to me. I told my husband to clean it up finally, but he never did too good. I told my husband, who I still thought was my brother, that I didn't want the junkie to come anymore because he didn't treat me in an honorable way, and I said I wasn't born for this. So there were these fissures coming between us, because the fraternal affection was with him and the junkie from the old days together, not him and me from now. And I was shocked by this. I couldn't grasp it. I went into the rooms with him, but it came down on him how bad it was from the men, and it came down on me that I wasn't supposed to be anywhere near where they were. I kept going to the rooms because we kept hitting targets all over the city, and we'd need to get off the streets fast, and he'd know some place he wanted to be, one friend or another, and they'd all be there. It would contradict the plan, but he'd say it was necessary. Some were on the run for recent crimes, but most were burned out, living in times past, not fighting no more. Most stopped long ago and far away, and they were just burned out to hell. Yeah, they were tired. I respected that. I mean, I fucking loved these heroes. I knew they were tired. Tired from living on their nerves, from hiding, from jail, from smoke, from fucking, which came first for some, but last for others. Some had children they had deserted. Some lived in the past, remembering stray girls in cities they were passing through. They were older than me, but not by a lot. I wanted their respect. I hadn't given up. And I did anything anybody else did, and I wasn't afraid of nothing, so how come it was like I wasn't there? I mean, I was too honorable to be anything other than strong and silent, I tell you, but I thought silence made its own sound. You can count on revolutionaries to hear the silence. Otherwise, how can the oppressed count on them? Every lunatic was someone we knew that we just dropped in on or stayed with while we were running, or moved just for the sake of speed, the fun of flight. We went to other cities, hitchhiking. We lived in small rented rooms, slept on floors. We went to other countries. We begged, we borrowed. Yeah, we stole. He began dealing some shit. It wasn't too hard or dangerous compared to running borders or other contraband, but he did it without me, more and more. He spent more and more time with these low-life gangster types, not political revolutionaries at all, but these vulgar guys who packed guns and just did business. He said it's just for money. What's it got to do with you or with us? I'll just do it fast, get the money, it's nothing. And it was nothing. I didn't have no interest in money per se, but it got so he did the running. He was free. Freedom and flight were his. He'd pick up and go. I don't know where he was, or who with, or when I'd meet them, and they'd be low life I had no interest in, just toadies as much as some corporate businessmen were, and I'd feel very bored with them, and they'd treat me like I was a skirt, and I'd feel superior because I didn't want no part of them. I didn't challenge it. I just put up with it, and be relieved when he did his shit for money elsewhere. He hunted money down. He hunted dope down. He drove the secret highways of Europe at 100 miles an hour. Without me. Increasingly without me. And I stayed home and dusted walls, waiting. I waited. While I waited, I cleaned. I dusted. I washed things. I made things nice. I put something here or there. Little touches. But especially, I washed things. I washed floors, dishes, clothes. Anything could be washed. That could be washed. I fucking washed it. And I would, of course, keep thinking, I'd be doing laundry, but I'd think. I was thinking. Housework wasn't what I was doing, not me. No, I was thinking. I shared the fruits of all this labor with him. Clean clothes, clean dishes, clean floors, my thinking, which had always been first-rate in some senses. I saw him put the thinking I had done into action, so I felt like some pretty major player, running dope and making money all over Europe, and I kept thinking, and I saw the thinking go into political action, so I felt pretty major, and I just kept washing and thinking, washing, ironing and thinking, washing, shopping and thinking, washing, cooking and thinking, washing, scrubbing and thinking, washing, folding and thinking. I saw the consequences of my thinking. It was us out there, not just him. I was important. He knew. You don't need recognition in a revolutionary life. Increasingly, he incarnated freedom. I dreamed it. Especially he was the one who got to be free outside the four walls, and I got to be what he rolled over on when he got home, dead tired and mean as madness. I was incredulous. In the aftershock, I ironed, I washed, I scrubbed, I cooked. I'd lie there awake after he rolled off, not moving, for hours, outraged. A pristine innocence, stunned in disbelief. This was me. Me. We'd entertain, too, the revolutionary couple, the subversives. I learned to do it. It's like you see in all those films where the bourgeois wife slinks around and makes the perfect martini amidst the glittering furniture. Well, shit, honey, I made the most magnificent joint a boy could sit down to on a beanbag chair. I made a joint so gorgeous, so classic, and yet so full of savagery and bite, so smooth and deadly, so big and so right, you'd leave your wife and family and kill your fucking mother just to sit on the floor near it. I was the perfect wife, illegally speaking. I learned how to be a stoned sweet bitch, a new good housekeeping. Your man comes to visit my man and he don't walk home. I'm dressed fine and mostly I'm quiet except for the occasional ironic remark which establishes me, at least in my own mind, as smart, and I roll a fine joint, and in this way I've done my man proud. He's got the best dope and a fine woman and a clean house. a fucking clean house. And I ain't somebody's dumb wife except in the eyes of the law because I defy society. I defy society. I roll joints. I have barely seen a martini. There's nothing I ain't done in bed, including with him, except anal. I won't have it. I think it's how I said he's my husband. Husband. But I don't think he even knew about it. I'd be as perfect as I could according to his demands, gradually expressed over time. Everything escalates. Didn't matter how brilliant my joints were once he started using a cellum, a Turkish pipe for hash, rare in Europe. Not used because you had to be so fucking aggressive to use it. The hashish and tobacco went in it, and it was like a funnel, and you pulled it fast and hard into your lungs through a kind of wind tunnel made by your hands clasped at the bottom of the funnel, and the bitter smoke hit your lungs with a burning punch, with the force of an explosion, and your bloodstream was oxygenated with hash and nicotine. I didn't like the chillum, but I had to do it, keeping up with Mr. Jones, as it were. Can't find yourself being too delicate, too demure, unable to take the violence of the hit. Not if you're Mrs. Jones. I have to run with the boy, or the boy runs without you. You don't slow down to wait. You don't say, Andrea doesn't like this, she likes that, so let's do that. Same with sex. You solicit his personal recognition. You ask his indulgence. You beg. Remember me? Me? It changes slow. He tied me up more and more. Tied me up to his nice little modern brass bed we got. We had a little money. He had from the beginning in rented rooms on mattresses, on floors. It doesn't take much, but it was only sometimes. Now he tied me up, invariably. And I was bored. Tired and bored. Irritated and bored. But he wanted it, which had to mean he needed it. And I wanted him to do what he needs. I think every man should have what he needs. I think if he has it, maybe he won't need it in a bad way. And I love him. Not in love, but I love him. Him. I'm with him because it's him. Him. I want him to want me. Me. I said no, or not now, or let's just make love and don't tie me up, we don't need it, or even I don't want it now, I don't like it, or trying to say that I didn't want to anymore. And it had to matter to him that I didn't want to, because this is me. Me. I said in all kindness and with all tenderness that I didn't want to. He did want to, and so we did, because it was easier to than not to, and it wasn't like we hadn't before, so it wasn't like I had any grounds for saying no or any right. And it was so fucking dull and stupid, and I'd want it to be over, and I'd wait for it to be over, especially to be untied. I learned how to wait. Not just when he was doing things, but after, when he'd leave me there, when he'd putter around or watch television or do something, I'd never know what exactly. I'd get bad pains in my side, and I was so fucking bored. It was like being back on the streets, but still easier, frankly, just awful in some tedious way. When will he be done? When's he going? When's it going to be over? I know I'm saying I was bored, not morally repelled, and you don't have the right to nothing if you ain't morally repelled, and I know I don't deserve nothing, but I wanted us back being us, the wild us, outside and free and stretched out together, body to body and carnal, mutual, not this fucking tame, stupid, boring, tie me up. I don't have some moral view. My view was that I was on his side. That's what being married meant to me. I was on his side, the way a friend on the street, that rarest creature, is on your side. Anything, anytime you need it, you got it. I don't ask why. I don't ask a goddamn thing, I do it. I take any pain that comes with it or any consequences, and I don't blab about it or complain or be half-hearted, I just take it. That was it, fundamentally, for me. I think, when's he going? Except he wasn't going. The husband gets to stay. I started having this very bad pain in my left side, and I felt frustrated and upset because I hated this. It wasn't anything for me. It was banal. I hated having to go through these routines, and I'd see the rope coming out, or the movement toward the bed, or the belts. I'd see the shadow of something that meant he wanted this now, and I'd try to divert him to something else, anything else, football, sports, anything. Or if I saw it was going to happen, I'd try to seduce him to be with me. With me. More and more it was pretend. I had to pretend. The sooner he'd come, the sooner it'd be over. But he liked it. He really liked it. And it went on and on. Afternoons fading to dusk, after he'd be jubilant, so fucking high and full of energy, jumping and dancing around, and I'd have this pain in my left side, acute and dreadful, and I wanted to crawl into a corner like some sick animal, and he'd want to go visit this one and that one, married couples, his friends, his family. We'd go somewhere, and he'd be jubilant and shining and fine and dancing on air, and he'd be golden and sparkling, and I'd be trying to stand the pain in my side. I'd be quiet. Finally quiet. A quiet girl. Not thinking at all. Finally, not thinking. Eyes glazed over, nothing to say, didn't think nothing. Just sit there, pale, a fine pallor. They like white girls pale, unwashed. He wouldn't let me wash. Dressed, oh yes, very well dressed. Long skirts, demure, some velvet, beautifully made, hippie style but finer, better, simpler, tailored. And I'd be polite and refined and quiet while he strutted. The men would know. They could see. They'd fuck me with their eyes. Smile, smirk. They'd watch me. I didn't feel annihilated. I felt sick and bored. Sometimes he'd have me do it to him as a kind of prologue, a short prologue, and I hated it. But I'd try to keep him occupied, excited. I'd try to get him to come. He'd want to get hard, but I'd want to make him come. I'd do anything so the next part wouldn't happen, but it always did. You put your heart into staying alive, acting like you're in charge, married, a married woman, with what we'd been to each other. This is just a hard stretch. He's having some trouble. It will change. I'll love him enough, give him what he needs. It will change. I can do anything, absolutely anything. I'd go through the motions, tying him, doing what he wanted. And soon the pain in my side would come, and I'd know it was going to last for hours. And after, he would untie me, and he wanted to visit folks and party. It didn't matter who or where, even his terrible family. He'd play cards, the men would play cards, or if it was real late at night, he'd want an after-midnight movie, a cowboy movie, an edge-of-night crowd where there's always people he knew and deals he could make, and he'd strut by them, circle around them, regale them, touch and poke them, tell vulgar jokes, sell hash or score, and always, Always he'd smoke. Or we'd go to an after-hours club and he'd deal and strut and I'd sit there, the quiet, used thing, the pale, used thing. The bed was in a tiny middle room, a passageway really, no windows, and I'd lay there. And the walls would be nearer each time. The room would get smaller each time, and sometimes more and more he'd leave me. When he wanted, he'd stand there, his back to me, and he'd putter around. He'd find his pants, he'd pick out a new shirt to wear, he'd hum, and I'd want to reach out, like this was still us, not just him. And he'd be only a few feet away, but I couldn't. And I'd say his name, and he'd keep his back to me, and I'd ask him to untie me, and he'd keep his back to me, and I'd tell him my side hurt, and he'd putter around, and I'd see his back, and then I'd close my eyes and wait. Then, sometimes he'd say we're going out, and I'd say I'm sick and I don't want to, and then I'd get scared that he'd leave me there tied up, and I'd say I wanted to go, I really did, and he'd sit down on the bed, and he'd untie one rope around my wrist, and then he'd make it tighter to hurt me, and then he'd untie it because I was shaking from fear that he'd leave me there, and I'd put on clothes, what he liked, and I'd follow him, quiet. I never thought there was anything I couldn't walk away from. Not me. If I didn't like being married, I'd just leave. I didn't care about the law. I wasn't someone like that. This was a few fucking ropes. So what? I was getting nervous all the time, anxious, and he'd keep waking me up to do something. I'd be sleeping. He'd be gone. He'd come in out of nowhere. I could just never get enough sleep. It was ordinary life, just how every day went. I think I could do it one more day. I could last one more day. He'll leave. He'll change. He will go somewhere with someone, a girl. He'll find a girl. He'll go away to buy or sell drugs, and he'll get caught. He'll go to jail. He'll go back to running with his pack of boys. A man will always leave. You can count on it. Wait long enough. He's gone. How long will long enough be? I'd be counting seconds on the bed, waiting. He painted the bedroom a dark, shocking blue. All the walls and the ceiling. I screamed. I cried. I begged. I can't stand it. The walls will close in on me. It makes the ceiling feel like it's on top of me. I'll smother. I can't bear it. I screamed obscenities and I called him names and I could barely breathe from the tears, and he hit me. Hard. In the face. Over and over. And I ran away. And I was outside in the cold a long time. I didn't have my coat. I was crying uncontrollably. I went to the park. Men tried to pick me up. I was freezing. My face was swelling. I couldn't stop crying. I felt ashamed. I got scared. I went back. He wanted to make love, and I was tied in the room. I knew he was capable of frenzies of rage, but not at me. He broke furniture, he punched his fists into walls. Once he tore up a pile of money, tore it into a million pieces. It was rage at things, not me. I didn't care about things. It was an internal agony. He was tormented. He was so distraught, and I thought I'd love him, and it would help that I did. When the violence possessed him, it didn't have anything to do with me. It didn't. I was terrified by the magnitude of it, like the way you're frightened of a big storm with thunder that cracks the earth open and lightning that looks like the sky is exploding. You feel small and helpless, and the drama of it renders you passive, waiting for it to be over, hoping it won't hurt you by accident. The first time his frenzy landed on me. A shower of his fists. I just didn't believe it. It wasn't something he would really do. Not to me. Me? It was some awful mistake. A mistake. I didn't clean the refrigerator. I had never seen anyone clean one before. I mean, I never had. However stupid I am, I hadn't. And I didn't see why I should do it. And I didn't want to do it. And he told me to do it, and I said no. And he went mad. It was some seizure. Something happened to him. Something got inside him and took him over, and he beat me nearly to death. It's a saying, but I think it's true. It means that some part of you that is truly you does die. And I crawled into a corner. I crawled on the floor down low so he wouldn't kick me. I crawled. And I was sick in the corner, but I didn't move. And he was sorry. And he helped me. He washed my face, and he put me in bed, and he covered me up, and he let me sleep. And it just wasn't something you could imagine happening again. Or I didn't do the laundry right. I didn't separate the clothes right. I washed his favorite t-shirt in with the colored clothes, and some colors ran in it, and he held it up and he berated me for how stupid I was and how I did this to hurt him on purpose because it was his favorite t-shirt. And I was trying to placate him, so I was trying to smile and be very nice, and I said it was just a mistake and I was sorry, and he said you always have some fucking smart answer, and he hit me until I was wet stuff on the floor. Everything just keeps happening. You do the laundry, you think you are free, you get waked up and you get a pain in your side, and then you go to the movies and time slows down so that a day is almost never over. It never exactly ends. Nothing exactly ever stops or starts. I'd sit in the movie wondering what would happen if I just stood up and started begging for help. I wanted to. I wanted to just stand up and say, help me, help me. He's hurting me. This one here, he hurt me so bad just before. Help me. Take me somewhere. Help me. Take me somewhere safe. And I knew they'd laugh. He'd make them laugh. Some jokes about women or how crazy I was, and the stoned assholes would just laugh, and he'd keep me there through the movie, and then the life would just go on. Then or later, that night or tomorrow, there's normal life going on all around you, and you have your own ordinary days. And it is true that they are ordinary, because doing the laundry is ordinary, and being fucked by your husband is ordinary, and if you are unhappy, that is ordinary too, as everyone will tell you if you ask for help. Old ladies in the neighborhood will pat your hand and say, yes dear, but someday they get sick and die. You can't remember if there was a prior time, and you get so nervous and so worried that you just keep trying to do everything better. The cleaning, bed, whatever he wants, you concentrate on doing it good, the way he likes it, and you just squeeze your mind into a certain shape so you can concentrate on not making mistakes. And some days you can't, and you talk back, or are slow, or say something sarcastic, and you will be hurt. Did you provoke it? Did you want it? Or are you just a fucking human being who's tired of the little king? If you tell anyone or ask for help, they blame you for it. Everyone's got a reason it's your fault. I didn't clean the refrigerator. I did mess up the laundry. I wasn't in the right. I'm supposed to do these things. I'm the wife, after all. Who ever heard of one who didn't know how to do these things? He has rights too. I'm supposed to make him happy. And I let him tie me up, so it's on me what happened. And if I say I didn't like it, people just say it's a lie. You can't face it. You can't face how you liked it. And I can't explain to them that I'm not like them. I'm not some virginal in the world like them. I've been facing what I liked since I was born. And being tied up isn't what they think. The words they use, like sadomasochism or bondage, $3 words for getting a trick to come, they get all excited just to say them because they read about them in books and they're all philosophers from the books, and I hate them. I hate the middle-class goons who have so much to say but never spent one fucking day trying to stay alive. And when you are a fucking piece of meat on the ground, hamburger he left on the floor, and he fucks you or he fucking leaves you there for dead, whichever is his pleasure that day, it's what you wanted. What you are, what's inside of you, like you planned it all along, like you're General Westmoreland or something instead of messed up, bleeding trash, and if you're running away, they send you back for more, and they don't give you money to help you, and they don't tell you, and they tell you that you liked it. Fucking middle-class hypocrite farts. I have a list. I remember you once. You try to pull the wool over someone's eyes about how smart you are, and what humanitarians you all are on this side of whoever's hurting. Nelson Mandela provoked it. What do you think about that, assholes? We all of us got the consolation that nobody remembers the worst things. They're gone. The brain just burns them away. And there's no words for the worst things, so ain't no one gonna tell you the worst things. They can't. You can pick up any book and know for sure the worst things ain't in it. It's almost funny reading Holocaust literature. The person's trying so hard to be calm and rational, controlled, clear, not to exaggerate, never to exaggerate, to remember ordinary details so that the story will have a narrative line that will make sense to you. You, whoever the fuck you are. The person's trying so hard to create a 24-hour day. The person picks words carefully, sculpts them into paragraphs, selects details, the victim's selection, selects details and tries to make them credible, selects from what can be remembered, because no one remembers the worst. They don't dare scream at you. They're so polite, so quiet, so civil to make a story you can read, and I'm telling you, you have never read the worst. It has never been uttered by anyone ever. Not the Russians, not the, 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 You forget. You don't believe it, even when it's happening to you. Your mind caves in, just collapses for a minute or a day or a week or a year until the worst is over. The center caves in. Whoever you were leaves. Just leaves. If you try to force your mind to remember, it leaves. Just fucking empties out of you. It might as well be a puddle on the ground. Anything I can say isn't the worst. I don't remember the worst. It's the only thing God did right in everything I seen on earth. Made the mind like scorched earth. The mind shows you mercy. Freud didn't understand mercy. The mind gets blank and bare. There's nothing there. You got what you remember and what you don't. And the very great thing is that you can't remember almost anything compared to what happened day in and day out. You can count how many days there were, but it's a long stretch of nothing in your mind. There's nothing. There are blazing episodes of horror and a great stretch of nothing. You thank God for the nothing. You get on your fucking knees. We are doing some construction in our apartment, and we had a pile of wood beams piled up, and he got so mad at me. For what? Something about a locked door. I didn't lock the door, or he didn't lock the door, and I asked him why not. And he picked up one of the wooden beams and he beat me with it across my legs, like he was a trained torturer and knew how to do it, between the knees and the ankle, not busting the knees, not smashing the ankles. He just hammered it down on my legs, and I don't remember anything before or after. I don't know what month it is or what year, but I know it was worse. The before and the after were worse. The weeks I can't remember were worse. I remember where it happened. Every detail. We had the bed in the hall near the wood beams, and we were sleeping there temporarily, and it was early on because it wasn't the brass bed yet. It was just a stumpy old bed and old mattress, and everything was dull and brown. There was a hall closet, and there was a toilet at one end of the hall, and a foyer leading to the entrance to the apartment at the other end of the hall. And there wasn't much room, and it was brown and small, and had a feeling of being enclosed, and I know I was sitting on the bed when he began to hit me with the beam. And when he hit me with it the first time, it was so fast, or I didn't expect it because I didn't believe it was possible. I didn't understand what happened, or how it could, but I remember it, and the only thing that means is that it isn't the worst. I know how to calibrate torture, how to measure what's worse, what's better, what's more, what's less. You take the great morbid, dark, blank days and you have located the worst. You pray it ain't buried like Freud says. You pray God burned it out like I say. Some weeks later, he wanted to have dinner with his sister and brother-in-law. I could limp with a great deal of pain. I was wearing dark glasses because my eyes had cuts all around them and were discolored from bruises and swollen out of shape. I don't know when my eyes got that way. The time of the wood beam or in the weeks I can't remember after. But I had to wear the glasses so no one would see my eyes. Them kinds of bruises don't heal fast like in the movies. They all played cards, and we had cheese fondue, which I never saw before. I walked with a bad limp. I concealed the pain as best I could. I wore the dark glasses. I had a smile pasted on my face from ear to ear, an indelible smile. And brother-in-law brought up the limp, and I said, smiling with utter charm, that I had tripped over the beams and hurt myself. Don't worry, I whispered urgently to my husband. I would never tell. I would never tell what you did, hoping he doesn't hear the accusation and saying he did it. But he does, of course, and he bristles. I'm on your side. I wouldn't tell. Brother-in-law, a man of the world, smiles. He knows that a lot of stupid women keep falling down mountains. He's a major in the military. We say a fascist. He knew. He seemed to like it. He flushed, a warm, sexy flush. He liked it that I lied and smiled. There's no what happened next. Nightmares don't have linear logic with the narrative development, each detail expanding the expressive dimensions of the next. Terror ain't aesthetic. It don't work itself out in perfect details picked by an elegant intelligence and organized so a voyeur can follow it. It smothers, and you don't get no air. It's oceanic, and you drown. You are trapped underneath, and you ain't going to surface, and you ain't going to swim, and you ain't dead yet. It destroys, and you cease to exist while your body endures anyway to be hurt more, and your mind, the ineffable, bleeds inside your head, and your brain don't blow. It's an anguish that implodes, leaving pieces of you on the wall. It's a remorse for living. It's pulling your heart apart grief for every second you spent alive. It's all them cruel things you can't remember that went to make up your days, ordinary days. It was in the bedroom. It was dark blue, the ceiling too. I'd be doing what he wanted, or trying to. I'd be crying or waiting. I'd be staring. I'd stare. I was like some idiot, staring. After he fucked me, I'd just be there, a breathing cadaver. You just wait, finally, for him to kill you. You hope it won't take too long. You won't have to grow old. Hope, as they say, never dies. Time's disappearing altogether. It doesn't seem to exist at all. You wait, he comes, he hurts you this way or that, long or short, an enormous brutality, physical injury or psychological torture. He doesn't let you sleep. He keeps you up. He fucking tortures you. You're in a prison camp. You're tied up or not. It's like being in a cell. He tortures you. He hurts you. He fucks you. He doesn't let you sleep. It doesn't stop so it can start again. There's no such thing as a 24-hour day. I don't know. I can't say. I didn't go out anymore. I couldn't walk, really. Couldn't move either, because physically I couldn't, or because I couldn't. There's one afternoon he dragged me from the bed. And I felt the burning, and I got quiet. There was this incredible calm, as if it was all sound stopped. Everything continued, but there was this perfect quiet. A single second of absolute calm, and then I passed out. You see how kind the mind is? I just stopped existing. You blank. It's dark. It's a deep, wonderful dark blank. It's close to dying. You could be dead. Or maybe you are dead for a while and God lets you rest. You don't know anything. And you don't have to feel anything. None of it. I'm grateful for every minute I cannot remember. I thank you, God, for every second of forgetfulness you have given me. I thank you for burning my brain out to ashes in hell, wiping it out so it is scorched earth that don't have no life. I'm grateful for an amnesia so deep it resembles peace. I will not mind being dead. I am waiting for it. I have breasts that burst into flames, only it's blood. Suddenly there's a hole in my breast in the flesh, a deep hole that goes down into my breast. I can be anywhere, or just sitting talking somewhere, and the blood starts coming out of my breast. A hole opens up as if it's the Red Sea were spilling apart, but in a second, half a second, it wasn't there, and then suddenly it is there. And I know because I feel the blood running down my breast. There's a deep hole in my breast, no infection. It never gets infected, no pus, no blood poisoning ever, no cyst, completely clean. A hole down into the breast. You see the layers of skin and fat inside, and the blood pours out. Clean blood just comes out. It hurts when the hole comes. A clean hurt. A simple, transparent pain. The skin splitting fast and clean, opening up. And I'm not in any danger at all, though it takes me some years to realize this. It's completely normal. Completely normal for me. I am sitting there talking, and suddenly the skin on a breast is opened up, and there's a deep, clean hole in my breast, and blood is pouring down my chest, and I'm fine. Just fine. And the hole will stay some days, and the blood will come and go. They're my stigmata. I know it. But I can't tell anyone. They come from where the burns were. The skin bursts open, and the blood washes me clean. It heals me. The skin closes up new, bathed in the blood, clean. Because I suffered enough. Even God knows it, so he sent the sign. I've seen it in all the movies about stigmata, and it's just like in the movies when someone explains what real stigmata is so we can tell it from a trick. It's real stigmata on me. It's God saying he went too far. He loves me. Him saying I'm the best time he ever had. They asked in the camps, they asked, where is God? But they didn't answer. Omnipotent, omniscient, omnipresent. He's right there, having a good time. When you get married, it's you, the man, and God. Just like is always said, God was there. I couldn't breathe. So I went to a barber, and I got my hair cut off, almost shaved like a dockhouse so I'd be able to breathe, so my hair wouldn't mix with his. He didn't need rope, you understand? He didn't need rope. You understand the dishonor in that? He didn't need rope, and God just watched. And it was your standard issue porn, just another stag film with a man fucking a woman too stupid or too near dead to be somewhere else. A little ripe, a little bruised, eyes glazed over, open but empty. And he didn't need rope. We was married. I didn't think rape exists. What would it be? Do you count each time separate in the blank days? Do they count? Or they don't? They do count, or they don't.